In the early 18th century, the Caribbean Sea was a realm of both beauty and treachery. A vast expanse of azure waters dotted with islands that held treasures and secrets alike. It was a time when empires clashed, and the spoils of war often found their way into the hands of those daring enough to seize them. Among the rogues and adventurers who roamed these waters, none would become as legendary, as feared, or as enigmatic as Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard. His life was a tapestry woven with threads of ambition, violence, and an insatiable thirst for freedom, and it would leave an indelible mark on the annals of maritime history. Born around 1680 in Bristol, England, Edward Teach emerged from humble beginnings. Little is known about his early life, but it is widely believed that he was the son of a merchant, which likely exposed him to the world of trade and seafaring from a young age. As a young man, Teach set sail, drawn by the siren call of the ocean and the promise of adventure. He began his career as a privateer during the War of the Spanish Succession, a conflict that pitted European powers against one another and provided ample opportunity for men like him to profit from the chaos. The war ended in 1713, but Teach had tasted the thrill of the chase and the spoils of the sea, and he was not ready to return to a life of obscurity. By the early 1710s, Teach had made his way to the Caribbean, where he would transform from a privateer into a full-fledged pirate. It was in these warm, turquoise waters that he would cultivate his fearsome reputation. He joined the crew of the notorious pirate captain Benjamin Hornigold, who recognized Teach's potential and quickly elevated him to the rank of quartermaster. Under Hornigold's tutelage, Teach honed his skills in navigation, combat, and the art of intimidation. But it was not long before Teach's ambition outgrew his mentor, and in a bold move, he seized command of his own ship. In 1716, Teach captured a formidable vessel, the Queen Anne's Revenge, a former French slave ship that had been refitted for piracy. With this ship, he would carve his name into the annals of infamy. The Queen Anne's Revenge became a symbol of his power, a vessel that struck fear into the hearts of merchant sailors and naval officers alike. Teach adorned himself with a fearsome image, tying slow-burning fuses into his beard, which would ignite during battle, creating a terrifying spectacle that would haunt the dreams of those who faced him. His appearance was a calculated strategy designed to instill fear and command respect. He was not just a pirate, he was a living legend, a figure who embodied the chaos of the seas. Teach's reign of terror began in earnest as he and his crew plundered merchant ships, amassing a fortune in gold and silver. His tactics were ruthless, but he was also known for his cunning. He would often offer captured ships the chance to surrender peacefully, a strategy that earned him a reputation as a pirate who could be negotiated with, albeit one with a deadly edge. He understood that fear could be as powerful a weapon as any blade, and he wielded it with masterful precision. One of the most significant moments in Blackbeard's life came when he blockaded the port of Charleston, South Carolina, in May 1718. This audacious act was not merely a display of power, it was a calculated move to enrich himself and his crew. Teach and his men captured several vessels in the harbor, taking hostages and demanding a ransom for their release. The blockade sent shockwaves throughout the colonies, and the authorities were left scrambling to respond to the brazen pirate who had dared to challenge them. The blockade was a turning point for Teach, solidifying his reputation as the most feared pirate of his time. However, it also drew the ire of colonial governments and the British Crown. The governor of Virginia, Alexander Spotswood, was particularly incensed by Teach's audacity. He viewed the pirate as a threat to commerce and stability in the region, and vowed to put an end to his reign of terror. Spotswood dispatched Lieutenant Robert Maynard, a seasoned naval officer, to hunt down Blackbeard and bring him to justice. The stage was set for a confrontation that would go down in history. On November 22, 1718, Maynard and his men finally caught up with Blackbeard off the coast of Ocracoke Inlet, North Carolina. The two vessels engaged in a fierce battle, cannon fire echoing across the water as the pirates and the naval officers clashed. Teach fought with the ferocity of a cornered beast, his reputation as a fearsome warrior on full display. But Maynard, cunning and determined, devised a strategy that would turn the tide of battle. In a bold move, Maynard ordered his men to hide below deck, creating the illusion that his ship had been severely damaged. Teach, believing he had the upper hand, boarded Maynard's vessel, ready to finish what he had started. But as he stepped onto the deck, he was met with a surprise. Maynard's men sprang from their hiding places, launching a fierce counterattack. In the chaos, Blackbeard fought valiantly, but he was ultimately outnumbered. The battle was brutal, and Teach fought with a desperation that spoke to his indomitable spirit. He was wounded multiple times, yet he continued to battle on, refusing to yield. But in the end, it was Maynard's men who prevailed. Blackbeard fell, his body riddled with wounds, a testament to his fierce resistance. The legend of Blackbeard did not end with his death. Instead, it transformed him into a mythic figure. Maynard, seeking to send a message to other would-be pirates, famously severed Teach's head and hung it from the bowsprit of his ship as a grim trophy of victory. The legacy of Edward Teach, the man known as Blackbeard, would endure long after his death. His story became a cautionary tale, a warning to those who dared to challenge the established order. He embodied the spirit of rebellion, a figure who defied convention and embraced a life of freedom on the high seas. His exploits would inspire countless stories, ballads, and legends, ensuring that his name would be etched into the fabric of maritime history. In the years that followed, the image of Blackbeard would evolve, becoming a symbol of the golden age of piracy. He was romanticized in literature and folklore, a figure of adventure and danger, embodying the allure of the unknown. His life was a reflection of the tumultuous times in which he lived, a period marked by exploration, conquest, and the relentless pursuit of wealth. The Caribbean became a stage for his exploits, a backdrop for a life lived on the edge of chaos. Yet beneath the layers of myth and legend lay the truth of a man who sought freedom in a world that often sought to constrain him. Blackbeard's story is a reminder of the complexities of human ambition, the fine line between heroism and villainy, and the enduring allure of the sea. His life was a tempest, a whirlwind of passion and violence, and in that chaos he carved out a legacy that would endure for centuries. As the sun sets over the Caribbean, casting a golden hue across the waters, one can almost hear the echoes of Blackbeard's laughter mingling with the sound of crashing waves. His spirit lives on in the tales of daring adventurers and the restless souls who continue to seek their fortunes on the high seas. In the end, Edward Teach was not merely a pirate, he was a symbol of the eternal quest for freedom, a testament to the wild heart of humanity, forever chasing the horizon.